people you should know in Kansas City. I am so excited today to introduce you to my friend, Art. Welcome, Art.
Hi, how's it going, Katie?
Good, good. I'm so thrilled. We should say Brian Savoy introduced us and we promised him we wouldn't be friends outside of him, but it's kind of hard not to be.
Yeah, we're not at his event, so yeah, we're kind of cheating on him. Oh well.
Yeah.
He'll
Sorry,
get over
Brian.
it.
Well, tell everyone a little bit about you. Who are you and what do you do? All of that good stuff.
Yeah, my name is Art Gangel, Kansas City native, and live in North Kansas City right now. Work for Children's Mercy Hospital. I've been there for a little over 2 years in their performance improvement department. That means different things in different groups. At Children's Mercy, that means that we help to train and roll out lean principles with hospital leadership. I really love it there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Such a good organization too. I mean, it's just cool job, but then also a great organization.
Yeah, I often say if you can't get excited for the mission of helping kids, then you probably don't have a pulse. I mean, it's a great mission.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Well, and so part of Catalyst Development and the work we do is our leadership training. We are so proud to say it is stage and level appropriate. So when you look at the Catalyst stages, which is early career, emerging leader, strategic leader, and executive leader, where would you put yourself on that path?
I would say I'm a strategic leader. I've been in business since 1995, believe it or not. So I've been around the block, as they say. But I am back to an individual contributor role. So it's a kind of an interesting position for me. I've had management roles in the past where I've had direct reports, but the current role, we really are consultants to the business. So while we are individual contributors, the role itself is considered somewhat of a prestige role. We will work alongside and coach executives and directors, and we're very much seen in that kind of same light. So it's a really kind of interesting position at Children's Mercy. It's not just your average vanilla individual contributor role. I'm very grateful to have that position. So I put myself in that strategic slot for sure. Not an exec, but yeah, in that strategic.
Makes sense. Yeah, and with your level of influence and how you get to be involved, it makes a lot of sense. Can you share a story with us of one of the biggest pivot points in your career? What happened? Good, bad, feelings, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I was thinking through this, because you kind of provide me maybe a few thoughts about maybe what you'd be asking. Thank you for that. I thought that was a great idea for this. And I was thinking through, I've had a lot of pivot points in my career. The biggest one was when I decided to leave a Fortune 500 company after being there for several years. To start my own nonprofit. And so moving from working for a large company to running my own small business, even though it's a nonprofit, it's still a small business, could not have been more different. The demands and the lifestyle were completely 180 degrees different, and I was not prepared for that. I had a very difficult time with that process. And in short order, in 18 months, unfortunately, my nonprofit did not succeed. It just didn't work. And I recognize that the most important word in the term nonprofit business is the word business.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, my business did not have a good business model that would succeed. That was the bottom line. And so very tough learnings. But I recognize from that tough season in my life, Katie, that I was dedicated from that moment on to be always aligned with a deep mission. And so every job I've had ever since then, yes, I did return to the corporate world, but every job I had since then, I've been aligned in some way, shape, or form with a deep mission, and really making sure that I was doing something not just for the paycheck,
Mhm.
but, for a greater good.
Yeah. Yeah. And kind of side out of the line of questions, but you know, so often people think it's about the money, and these days it's money. We need it. We got to pay our bills, but
Yeah.
it's more about how it fills us up when we look
Yeah.
for jobs.
Absolutely. I mean, we're very fortunate. We've got a lot of great companies in Kansas City. And, you get a lot of great companies that will pay very well.
Yeah.
If you have a modicum of skills, the pay's there.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a matter, as you said, what's going to fill you up at the end of the day, versus leaving you feeling empty. And that's going to be the big difference between, what's going to be a long-term fit, at least for me, in my career going forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So my favorite question, what is
Okay.
your leadership superpower?
Okay. My leadership superpower is to listen to people and get to know them without judgment.
Mm.
I of all this has been all the way through my career, every single position I've ever had, always had the ability to get with that one person where people say, watch out for that person. They've got a temper, or oh, I don't know about that guy or that gal.
Mhm.
I've always been able to connect with that person on their level, hear what they have to say, understand what it is that they are needing, and just create a safe space for them. And from there, I've just established strong relationships, especially with these people that no one else wants to be connected with. And guess what? I end up getting a whole lot of work done because these are the people, usually the reason that they're in the organization is they have a high level of technical prowess, right?
Yeah.
And so you get in good with them, you get stuff done. And so that's been kind of a happy accident or a side effect of just having strong relationships, for creating safe spaces for the people that I'm around.
Yeah. And it's so funny because that really, really is a superpower, because so often when people present themselves either as angry or frustrated or
Mhm.
whatever, there's usually things underneath, whether it is imposter syndrome, whether it's ego, whether it is history that they just don't know how to express. So being able to connect is huge.
Absolutely. And I always just try to present that, or recognize and remember, they're not mad at me,
Yeah.
right? They may be angry, but they're not angry at me because I didn't do anything, right? And so if we can both recognize, yes, you might have been wronged. And if we can both be on the same side of that wrong and recognize, oh, this is the thing that happened, and then move along together, hey, now we're allies, you
Yeah.
know. And so it's just been something that's always served me very well. It was a natural ability, and I've cultivated over the years. And yeah, it has grown into a superpower.
Yeah. That is awesome. So what advice would you give your younger self?
I could go on for a while on this one, but you know what? Where I landed on this one is, the advice I give my younger self is the advice I'd give myself today. And that is that asking for help or asking for what you need is not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of strength.
Mhm.
And that does not make any sense to the ego.
Yeah.
The ego mind wants to seem like they're strong at all times, like they've got the answers and they can do it. They don't need anybody's help. And so that part of you wants to seem like they're always going to come through. And so if they feel like they're going to say, oh, I don't know it all, or
Mhm.
I need somebody else's help to do something, that's seen in that portion of your brain as a failure.
Yeah.
But actually, being that self-aware and being open to saying, hey, you know what, I really could use some help over here, that actually shows humility
Mhm.
and a belief in the people around you that they can truly help you. And so something I'm still learning.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that is so powerful. And you don't even know how
Mm.
powerful that is, because it seems like that has been kind of the theme of my week, is talking to people about humility and ego. And, how do we understand that we're actually stronger leaders when we surround ourselves with people who fill our gaps and that are
Yes.
really good for us?
Absolutely. The weak leader will make sure that they are stronger than everybody around them. The strong leader seeks out the people who are all smarter than them, and then they're all lifted up.
Oh, that is a powerful statement for me. Like I said this week, it's a very powerful statement.
Cool.
Well, and so I appreciate you have been such a champion since the day we've met and I shared my dream of Catalyst. You have been such a champion and I appreciate it. So can you share a little bit of your thoughts on Catalyst and the Leaders Institute?
Well, absolutely. And, you know, it didn't take me long to become your advocate and promoter, Katie, because everything you were saying was like, yes, yes, yes. Catalyst is exactly what we need in Kansas City. And we're very fortunate to have you in Kansas City because Catalyst fills a very specific gap. It would take each company's talent development or learning and development department so many resources to do the research and to come up with all of the curriculum that you're offering. You know, they would just it would take so much time and effort to do it that once they got it in place, then they would be done and they would never touch it again. And then in a couple of years, it would be out of date. And so, you know, it wouldn't matter because then, you know, they would have to start over again in a few years. Whereas what you're doing is you're focusing on this gap, and you've recognized this gap in Kansas City. And by inviting all these different, you know, people from these different companies together, you're going to help them learn from each other, you know, grow from each other. We talked about that cohort mentality and the benefits of that. So great to have those kind of you know, informal benefits of a community. And you are the one who's going to continue to do that research, make sure it's fresh, make sure it's sharp, timely, and you're going to continue to make sure that the leaders you know, of these companies are going to continue to you know, grow and thrive you know, as they go. So I think catalysis is just, sorry, I said catalysis because we have a group called Catalysis. I think Catalyst does a great job of doing that, of filling that exact niche, and then just making sure that, you know, I think you're going to be an invaluable business partner to all these companies going forward.
Oh, thank you so much. And I mean, really, I just want to be a resource for exactly what you said. I sat in a corporate HR chair for 14 years and had that list of things that I wanted to do for people. But unfortunately, the development pieces that you want to do, you can never get to because you're so busy in the minutia of it all. And so, you know, this truly is the gift that I've wanted to give to Kansas City and to, you know, the training and development community and the learning community. And I mean, it fills me up and brings me great joy. And the benefits of being able to close the skills gap, you know, close the wage gap, and then to fill the workforce pipeline.
I know.
It's what we need.
It's going to be so great. And, you know, hopefully all these people that are putting out all these fires, you know, you can come in behind them, fill this, and then hopefully eventually they'll have fewer fires to put out.
Right. Right. And then
that's the goal, right?
Some of the extra stuff that I don't have time to do.
Right. Exactly. Good
awesome
stuff.
Well, thank you so much for everything. Thank you truly for being my friend. And, you know, every time we speak and I see you, I feel smarter and more inspired. So I appreciate that.
Same.
And thank you for your time today.
Thanks, Katie. I appreciate it.
All right, bye.